Hi guys, and welcome back to my tour of Pleasantview. This is now part 3, where we are going to be in the home of Dina Brook. So this is one of the condos that comes with the Sims 2, but it is heavily reconstructed, expanded, changed the walls a bit, um, and just added onto it. It's coming to more of like a family home now over time. So let's do a little tour before we get into the family. So the floor plan is roughly the same for the most part, um, but obviously heavily renovated to be more modern. So we've got an open living room here, and then we go into the kitchen and dining room. I sometimes put a bathroom in my other Pleasant Views. I've always put like a bathroom down here, but I felt like just having a nice big dining room instead just looked nicer. And then onto the extension, we have a new bathroom right here and a bedroom slash nursery. This did belong to Dina's oldest daughter, but she has since moved out and now serves as a nursery. And then on the upstairs, we have a plain landing, nothing much to it. You have Dina's and Dustin's room. I went for like a yellow theme. I do need to get recolors of this. I keep forgetting to, but I really want to get some nice neutral tones for this piano. Yeah, I've gone for like a yellow and black theme for this room. They have an ensuite. This is their other daughter's room. This is still decorated for her to be a child, but I still think this is quite acceptable for like an early teen room as well. She even has her own balcony, which is nice. This is their eldest son's room, Jackson, who I've mentioned before. Just red and blue, red and blue. And again with his own balcony. And then we've turned this into a shared bathroom. I think in like the original house, I think this is actually like an ensuite or something. Or there's like double doors, but I just changed it to like a communal bathroom. But yeah, that's the house. Obviously, this bit has been expanded, and downstairs was expanded just to fill the grown family. Because I didn't want Dina to move out. I kind of wanted to grow the condo as the family grew. I see this as her like precious home, so I didn't really want to have her move out to like a big mansion somewhere. I felt like she would always want to slowly do this up over time and make it a nice family house. And of course, she's got a really expensive car. This was a gift from Mortimer when he was alive. So this is the car she takes to work. So let's get into the family. So here we are with Nina Baroque. She used to be Nina Goth because she did marry Mortimer in my game at the very start. But Mortimer has since passed and she has remarried, who I have mentioned before, but it is to Dustin. They have quite an interesting love affair, which I'll go into momentarily. But at the beginning of the game, I'd done the standard, she get married to Mortimer and Alexander move in, and she has a child, and her oldest child is Caitlyn Goth. Now, I'll get to her soon. She is in the next household, and she has just moved out into her own house, so I'll get more into her afterwards. But yeah, she wasn't that close to Mortimer. She was more close to her daughter. Like that was the main thing she wanted. She wanted a child, and she never thought she could get too close to Mortimer because of his age. She never thought she could settle down. She always knew that eventually she would want to get somebody else and have a more fulfilling family. So that's when Dustin came along. Now, I think I have mentioned this, but this was not my doing at all. This was completely the game's doing, like for the one system. So they both work in the same career, the architect career. And Dustin kept bringing Dina home, and Dina kept bringing Dustin home. And they were just like really good friends. And then eventually, Dina rolled once to flirt with Dustin and kiss him. So I was like, why not? Mortimer at this point was quite old. He only had like a few days left. So in my mind, she kind of thought, why not? He's going to be dead soon anyway. So she thought, why not find somebody else? So I went for it, expecting that Dustin would not, because he was very much in love with Angela. But he did. So then their affair started. They kept sneaking um, into each other's houses when I would play with them and do woohoos, and they never got caught. But I think Mortimer had like a suspicion, but at that point he was fairly old, and I think he kind of was just like, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, he got the beautiful girl, he's an old man, he's got another daughter, he's got grandchildren, he's just gonna let it go. But to her mind, she never got caught. But soon after Mortimer died, she found herself pregnant with Jackson right here, and Dustin decided to basically break off with Angela, tell her that he had an affair, and move in with Dina, and they got married. They got married in this house in the back garden, and they've had quite a close romance. Like their perfect relationship. Like they've just had such a close romance. It's really weird. Like I've never had this pairing before in any of my Pleasantviews. um, but I really like it. It's just out of like left field, and I don't think if I were to play Pleasantview again, like this thing would happen. It's very very bizarre, but I really like it. So also, she is like I said, an architect. She's actually level 9. I think yeah, they're both level 9. So they've done really well for themselves. She rolled a want to have this. I know normally she rolls a want to be in a law career, but I never got that. She straight away rolled a want to be an architect, so I gave it to her. And considering she hasn't gone to college, she has actually got quite far because in my game, I know there is a mod for it, but I don't actually use the mod. But I kind of just play it by whim that like Sims who don't go to college won't necessarily be able to reach the top of their career, depending on what the career is. And for the architect, I would say normally like they probably wouldn't be able to go past like level 6, but Dina, I feel like she is that connected in like Pleasantview that she would be able to get her way up there. Because I kind of wanted to create her as like, you know what I mean, she didn't need anybody. Because I think like the game tries to tell you that like she is like a gold digger and she depends on that for a living. But in my mind, I kind of wanted to rewrite that. And like she may be a little bit of a gold digger, but she can handle herself and she can easily be by herself if she wanted to. So that's why I decided to not put a cap on her career, so she can just master if she wants to, and she just earns a lot of money independently. But of course, you know what I mean, more money wouldn't help, wouldn't you know, be a bad thing. So, so she has one kid by Mortimer, and then she has two kids by Dustin. Um, and then she also has a grandbaby. We'll get into her in a minute, but we'll go over to Dustin next. So Dustin, obviously, he as a teenager wasn't doing his homework at the start of the game, but Brandy kind of was quite strict with him and kind of wanted him to turn his life around. And for a while, he wasn't doing that. And it got to the end of his teenage years, and he still just wasn't doing his homework. Um, and he only just managed to get a C in order to get into college, like on his last day of a teenager. So he went to college, and he done okay. He never got on the dean's list, but he skated by. But he done enough to get a diploma, and he has turned his life around. Like I said, he's level 9. He has a beautiful family, a beautiful life. He's close to his siblings, and he really has turned his life around. And I feel like that's why he's quite strict with his own kids, because he doesn't want them to kind of skate by like he did. Like he got lucky, he skated by and got lucky and managed to have a good career and a good life. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen to his kids. So even though his kids are all romance sims, he's made sure that they will do their homework and that they are going to go to college and get a good career because he doesn't want them to be unlucky. So that's why he is very much about, do homework as soon as you get home from school and looking after them, making sure they're okay. So, for the most part, I have already told a story. He's quite close with his brother Bo. Still very close with Dirk. They still got on quite well. They still phone each other all the time. Obviously, not that close with Angela anymore. They've never, I don't think they've ever spoke ever since. But yeah. So we move on to Jackson. Jackson is obviously their oldest. Now, Jackson, I've talked about. He is with Ariana Goth. Yeah, and I've talked about them being in an open relationship when they got older. So, because he is a romance sim. Unfortunately for Dina, all three of her kids are romance sims. Caitlyn Goth is a romance sim, Jackson, and so is Leah. So I have to kind of come out with a gameplay system where all three of them will be different. I've obviously got one for Caitlyn. She is basically going to be like a female Don Lothario, like a classic romance sim. And then obviously Jackson is going to be the open relationship. And with Leah, I have no idea. I will come up with something. I may even just do, another female Don situation. But he definitely, you can definitely tell that he is Dustin's son. He's literally spit an image of him. But he's still quite good looking. Like, he actually has quite good looking genes, but you can tell he's definitely Dustin's son. And yeah, he is an A plus. His grades were slipping, but then that's when Dustin was like, "Go and do your homework because you're not failing at school." So now he's back up to an A plus. So that's good. I'm unsure if I want them to go to private school because in my mind, yeah, like Dustin will be strict, but I don't know if he would want to send him to private school. I don't know if that fits for this family. I'm kind of conflicted. I might just see if like he rolls a want to, and if he does, then I will, but I probably won't. And then the youngest, who has just recently aged up to a teenager, Leah, which again looks quite like Dustin. Like it's basically just a female Dustin. Like there's not a lot of genes of Dina's here. It's mainly just Dustin. But she's pretty. I quite like her outfit. I don't have a like favorite color system, but she did roll when she aged up. She had a yellow outfit on, so I just kind of went with that, and it's quite nice. And plus, her room's kind of like got like an off yellow, so I kind of just made that her favorite color without actually doing favorite colors. But yeah, I don't really know what she's going to be. Again, romance sim. She may just be like a generic romance sim because I don't know what I want to do with her. She hasn't got any crushes. Like I said, she's just aged up, but she's very pretty. So I'm kind of excited to kind of learn more about her because obviously when they're children and when they first age up, you don't exactly quite know what they're going to be. But as they get older, you kind of learn what they're going to do in life. And then last but not least, we have little Lily here. So, Dina's oldest child, Caitlyn, is basically a classic female Don Lothario. And as a teenager, she slept with, well, she didn't see, because I don't have Team Woohoo, but she kind of, messed around with 3 or 4 different Sims. Now, she is bisexual, so she has, I think, she's messed around with like 3 boys, and she's also messed around with a girl. And one of those was actually, so I'll have a look right here, is actually the son of John and Jennifer Babb, Jake Babb. Now, Jake is I believe the second oldest child behind Lucy. So as teenagers, they were dating. Jake probably wasn't really aware of like her dating like all the boys in school, but they were dating. And I don't have teen pregnancy in my game just because I don't like how that messes with like the aging and stuff like that. So I kind of just pretended that like she was pregnant as a teenager by having her become pregnant as soon as she aged up to an adult. So in my mind, when they age up to an adult, they're like 17, 18 anyway, so they technically are still teenagers. So as soon as she becomes an adult, she got pregnant by Jake. I did have a woohoo with all 3 of the male Sims that she's with, but it turned out Jake was the baby. Now, for now, Caitlyn obviously doesn't want to be a mother, especially this young. She's only like at this point 19, 20 years old, and she's a romance sim, and she wants to, live her life and go and have loads of fun. So her mom offered to raise her in her house, raise her grandbaby. Um, Jake does want to be in her life, but obviously Jake as well is still quite young. He's only just moved out himself as well. So in my game, I'm gonna have it so once Lily becomes a child, which is only like another round away, then she is gonna move in with her dad. So at that point, her dad's probably like more sorted in his life, got a better job, got some furniture because at the moment he's living in like basically an empty apartment at the moment, and then he'll be able to take care of her. So I can't remember what aspiration he is. Let me just have a look. He has a fortune sim, so he's not a family, but I think he would want to raise his daughter eventually. But he wants to get his life together first. So until then, um, Dina's going to take care of her. Now I think the baby is going to be a popularity sim. So for once, it's not going to be a romance sim. I was really like praying to the sim gods when she aged up to a toddler that she wasn't going to be a romance sim. Because if not, I think I would have just pretended and just looked the other way because I just didn't want to play another romance sim. But luckily, she's not. She's popularity sim, which isn't that fun to play with because they just want to pie all the time. But it's better than just wanting to sleep with everybody all the time. But yeah, but that is the family. I will quickly go over to Caitlyn. She is by herself, so it won't take long. So I will see you over there. And here we are in the house of Caitlyn Goth, which is Dina's oldest child. So she has recently just moved into this house. And she used her inheritance to do this. So when Mortimer died, obviously the bulk of the inheritance went to Cassandra and Alexander when they were already when he was still alive and they had the house and Alexander went to college and he paid for his house, but she still got a good chunk. And she put it away. So when she became an adult, she bought this house and renovated it. So this house is an EA house, but I have completely redone it. I know a lot of people place the oldies in this house, but I don't play with the oldies. I just put them in the town, and then after a few rounds, I just kill them off because I don't like playing with elders. But yeah, but this is the house, fully renovated. I really like how this turned out. So you got the kitchen here. It's quite nice, quite modern. I was struggling to put curtains here, like it just didn't look right, and I tried to put blinds, and it just wouldn't fit. These are all custom windows, so that's probably why. So I've just left it blank, even though I am quite anal about having curtains on windows. I like to have all my windows to have curtains and blinds. Then you got a cute little dining room area, just a cute little corner. She's by herself, so she doesn't need anything fancy, but just nice and cute and pink. A little walkway area, and then you have the living room, pink and yellow. I really like that. Pink and yellow and like black tones. It's really nice. I really like this house. I would live here myself. It's quite nice. And then you have the bathroom, which has a glitching door. I hate it when these doors do that. Again, quite nice bathroom. With an empty room, which I'm sure will get filled out at some point. She'll end up having another child at some point. And then we have her bedroom. Again, nice and pink. As you can see, she likes pink. And then we have the outside, which I haven't done anything. I've just put some lounge because she has pretty much used up all of her funds. And at the moment, she doesn't actually have a career. She wants to be in the music career. And I think that's also, yeah, she also her aspiration as well, so it's quite good. But she hasn't found it yet. And in my game, I have it so Sims can look for a job for 3 times. So once they've looked 3 times, then they're allowed to go to the career services that I have in town, and then they can actually get their job themselves. So it still leaves they have to wait for their job for a little while, but eventually they can actually just go and get their job. But I don't want it to be easy where they can just go and get their job no matter what. I kind of want to give them some time to kind of search for it before I give it to them. But eventually I do, because if not, sometimes you can be waiting days and days and days just for that one job to pop up, especially when you have some custom careers like I do. But yeah, so this is Caitlyn, the daughter of Dina and Alexander. No, not Alexander. Mortimer Goth. Very, very pretty. Looks a lot like Dina. Very spitting image of Dina. And like I said, she is quite, scandalous. She's had quite a lot of relationships. She's had some as a teenager, which no longer show on here. But as an adult, she still has 4 relationships. She's just literally the round I played with her, she just started to flirt and get with Sandy. But also she's with Jerome, Jake, obviously she's had a baby with, and she's also slept with Lucas, which at first I didn't think was anything wrong with it, but now I've kind of looked back on it, it's kind of a bit wrong, so I'm kind of not going there anymore, because basically this is the unborn baby that Brandy has at the start of the game. So even though she's not related to him by blood, This is her stepdad's brother, so I kind of feel a bit weird about it. Um, the game doesn't recognize them as relatives, and they aren't technically blood related, but they are related through marriage. So I'm kind of putting a stop to that. I didn't really realize at the time, and I was playing with Lucas at the time when they were initiating a relationship. So I'm kind of glad she didn't get pregnant by him, because then that would be a bit awkward. So I'm kind of putting a stop to that. But with these two, she's still continuing on with these two, and she's just started, having a romance with Sandy as well. And obviously, she wants to woohoo with 10 different Sims. I think she's done 5 or 6 so far. So yeah, see that's pretty much Caitlyn. Not much to her at the moment. Like, she's basically going to be the female Dawn. She's going to romance loads of different people, women and men. Probably end up having a few more kids. Probably not raising them. I don't know. I might put someone for adoption. Some will go live with their dad. Some will go live with their grandparents. I don't know. But yeah, she's basically just going to be female Dawn. And I'm quite excited to play with her. But yeah, and this is our lovely house. So that's it for the Broke / Goth household. Next up, we're actually going to the Dreamer household. So here we are in the Dreamer household. So from the outside, it looks pretty much exactly the same as the standard EA kind of build, but I have very much renovated it from the inside. So if we go inside, I've completely just switched up the floor plan of this household. So initially, I think the living room is over here and the kitchen's over here. I always like to swap them just because I think it just makes sense within the house floor plan. So we have, you walk in and you got the kitchen right here. A simple kitchen, nothing much to it. This is the flowers that Darren gave Brandy on their very first date. So I kind of just kept them here. They would be long dead, considering like how long they've been together, but I just like them. They're quite nice. And then we have the living room / dining room in here. I didn't want to go too modern because I felt like, they weren't modern people, like their style. The kitchen's kind of modern, but the wallpaper, it's modern but not over the top like Dina's household is. And then you go upstairs, you have where he does his art. He doesn't have an actual art room anymore, but his passion for art has kind of gone away, and I will explain that soon. But he still has some art up here, and he still paints. He's still painting every now and again. This is his little girl's room, which is not so little anymore. She has just age option adult, but this is her room. This is a painting he painted. I do have custom paintings in my game, so because the default ones are quite fugly. This was Lucas's room, who I mentioned previously. This is the room of the unborn baby Brook from the start of the game. A simple bathroom. And then we have Brandy and Darren's room. So let's get into the Sims. So Brandy, Darren, obviously, the start of the game, he was a struggling artist, and for a while he kept up with that. But then he sold a masterpiece, and once he sold a masterpiece, he suddenly hardly touched his easel anymore. And then all of a sudden, he actually rolled the want to go into the gaming career. And he is retired now. He just retired, but he went to level 8. So I kind of saw that as like Darren has kind of outgrown his hobby. Like, he struggled for so many years, and then as soon as he didn't struggle anymore, he kind of got a bit bored of it because he was selling like masterpieces, and then he was just churning out of money. And you can see in the bank they have a lot of money. Now this is like based on their like careers. They both have careers, and also Brandy selling a trailer back in the day, and then him selling masterpieces. It was just a combination of things. They managed to get up a lot of wealth. They actually are quite well off now. But yeah, he wanted to join a gaming career, and since then he's done painting every now and again, but he doesn't do it as much as like what he does at the start of the game, where all he would do is just paint, 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 paint. But now he would just like that one painting has probably been there for about 2 rounds, and he hasn't finished it. But yeah, so he fell in love with Brandy, who you all know as Brandy Broke. She has just aged up to an elder, which I'm really sad about because I really like Brandy. She's one of my favorite characters in the Pleasantview. And yeah, they hit it off. And I always get Brandy with Darren, um, sometimes with a townie, but it often is with Darren because I just think they suit each other quite well. And she is in a law enforcement career. Obviously, she works at Angela, who I did say are still, she sees Angela as a daughter at this point, really. Um, and obviously, Brandy has kids and grandkids. You have Dustin, you have Bo, and then you have the unborn baby at the start of the game, which is Lucas. And then she also had a daughter with Darren called Abigail, who is her youngest, and Abigail has just aged up to an adult just now. So Brandy, she struggles at the start of the game, and I didn't want to eliminate that struggle straight away, so she didn't move in here for quite a while. She stayed in her condo, her trailer, sorry, and she also didn't have a job for a while. She didn't roll one for a job for quite a while. Like I want to say like Bo was probably an adult by the time she wanted to join her career. So that's why she is only level 4. She doesn't really want skills for it, but she's still quite new in terms of gameplay. Like she's only been at it for like 4 or 5 rounds. But eventually she did sell her trailer. Darren proposed to her and he was like, come live with me. We can sell your trailer and we can do up our house together. This will be the house and we can do it up. He's got some funds from his paintings. He's got some stashed away, and the money that she sells from trailer, they can just do up the house. So they've done that, and they have done up this lovely house, and they've made it into a lovely house. Because beforehand, it wasn't, it wasn't the best looking house. It was kind of more of a bachelor pad in a way. But yeah, they've made it over time into a lovely house. Oh, I did forget to show this room. This was Beau's room. Now I didn't have this bedding. It was a different bedding, but I have since default replaced the EA bedding, so it's giving this one. So it wasn't initially this. This is a bit out of place, but I haven't bothered changing it. But this was Beau's room when he was living here. And now it's kind of just a communal room, like Sims will just randomly come in here and woohoo. They will always use the computer, but I kind of can't be bothered to renovate it until later on. Because eventually Abigail is going to be taking over this household. So if we're quickly going to Abigail, she's very, very pretty sim. She's one of the most prettiest sims in the game. I think she's stunning. Oh god. So this is the daughter of Brandy and Abigail, Brandy and Darren. She wants to move out, which she is actually going to be moving out very, very soon. But eventually she will move back here. So in the storyline I have for her is that she wants to move out, kind of live her life, live her 20s. She does want a big family. Like I think her want is to have like married off 6 children. Yeah, so she is going to have a massive family. And I've even given her the super fertility, which I kind of already regret, but we'll go with it for now. But yeah, she wants to go out there and live her life and have her own pace for a little while. But in about 10 years or so in game, she is going to come back here once maybe her dad's died and her mum's getting pretty old. She will come back here and take over the house and kind of renovate it into her own kind of house with her own family. But she's going to move out for the meantime. She is dating one of the Caliente boys, Harry Caliente. And Harry is currently living in a different household with a few other people. So it's going to be like a gang of 4 people, 4 like adults. They've all just become adults. They live in like a townhouse downtown somewhere. So that's going to be interesting. Obviously, she's going to end up having a loads of kids. I don't think she's pregnant at the moment. I did have a woohoo, but I don't think she's pregnant. I could check. No, she's not pregnant. But when she is, she's probably going to have like twins after twins after twins. But I definitely want her to have 6 kids. I could just see her being like a big family sim. I don't think she doesn't have a career. She's a family sim. Yeah, she's no career. She didn't want to go to uni, but I have graduated her from uni, as you can see. So in my game, I have a college career, so you can get it from the newspaper. I also have like the board thing that you can choose a career from. So I see it as certain sims will want to go to university, but they will want to stay home. So in my mind, she wanted to stay home, but she also wanted to go to college. So she went to a local college. So when she aged up, she decided to go to there, and I basically just got her into the career. And after 4 days, she then graduated, and I just gave her a degree. I randomized it between the different. I think you can have 11 degrees in the game, so I just randomized it, and it just randomized the career, a degree I wanted to give her, and I gave her that degree. I also randomized if she would actually graduate, so I gave like a 10% chance that she would fail, and then she would have to re-roll again to see if she would redo that semester or not. But she graduated; it was totally fine, and now she actually has a degree. But she didn't actually go off to college, so I kind of wanted to change up a little bit. I didn't want all my Sims who go to college have to go off to campus and I have to play them separately. I kind of wanted to just have some switch up. I'm still mainly going to do the college, but for certain Sims, they're not always going to go off to campus. In real life, that doesn't always happen. So the college career mod was the way forward to that. So yeah, but that's pretty much the household. I am going to quickly go over to Lucas because he is just by himself and he is the next one on the list. So I'll see you over there. So here we are in the Lucas Brooks household. So these are the Pleasant Pleasant Sims apartments that you can get on her website. I quite like them, quite handy. I use them in quite a lot of instances. I use them in this one, I use them in my custom hoods. They're quite simple, just 1 bedroom apartments, and this is also the military district. So Lucas was the whole inspiration behind the way I play military, because when he was a teenager, he had the fitness hobby, and I don't know, it just clicked to me that I kind of wanted him to go into military, and then I started brainstorming of how I wanted to play military, and that's how I came up with my system. So I'll do a quick tour. It's not much to do with his apartment. He's got bare bones, hardly any decorations, but he doesn't really care about that stuff. I mean, he's a romance sim. He's very much a serial romantic. Yeah. So he doesn't have that. He has his fitness stuff out here. Obviously, he mainly focuses on that. He focuses on fitness stuff, and he focuses on sleeping with loads of people. That's his whole life. Is just fitness and sleeping with people. But yeah, so this is Lucas. Or I should probably get him changed. This is Lucas. I like the bald head. Now this is default replace. I did have a different one before, but a couple of weeks ago I completely changed every single default that I had in the game because my other defaults were quite outdated, and now I've gone for more of like a Sims 4 to 2 defaults. So it did change this, and I did like the other one better, but this one isn't too bad. But yeah, he's very, very handsome. He is a clone of Brandy, because I don't have the clean template in this save file. Is just pure EA, which is, I know is a bit of a mistake, but I haven't had any problems so far. Fingers crossed. But yeah, he's just a clone of Brandy, but I think he's very, very good looking, and he is a level 3, so he still has to live here. So once he gets to level 5, then he can move out. But he's still level 3. He is due a promotion. He's got his skills, so in the next round he should potentially get promoted, and then he could get promoted again in the next round, and then we could potentially moving him out. But for now, he's just living here. Not much to him. He's still quite young. He is sleeping. He's been sleeping with Virginia. He had that fling with Caitlyn, which I'm kind of just forgetting that happened now. He's also slept with Emily and Shelby. So he's gone around. He's basically a mini Don, just like Caitlyn is. So I do still play with those in my game, but I just don't want it to be all my romance sims. So I think 2's already enough. But yeah, he's getting around. He's got four girls on the go, minus this one. I'm just gonna pretend that didn't happen. And I think he's just starting to get to know Charlene as well. So another one on the go. He wants to make out with 5 different Sims. But yeah, that's pretty much this household. Next, we're going to be going to the Pleasant household of Mary Sue and Daniel. And here we are in the Pleasant household. So I have renovated this household quite a bit. I'm currently renovating it as I'm playing it because this is the current household that I'm in this round. So as you can see, I'm like only 1.5 days into this round, so I'm still playing with this family. But I have recently just started renovating the top floor. There was a renovation that I'd done at the very beginning, and you'll see that at the bottom floor. The bottom floor I haven't renovated since like I started playing the game, but the top floor did look a little bit different until this round, and now I've just kind of extended it. I've obviously extended this part, added some stuff at the back, and also added a garage. So first of all, let's just go into the bottom floor. So you come in, you got the hallway, quite nice. I really like this wallpaper. And then you got the kind of like the formal living room. It's kind of more fancy, more regal. I quite like it. Greens, obviously. And then you got Mary Sue and Daniel's room. I kind of didn't want to go uber modding with this room because I've kind of wanted to keep the style that they had, and this is like the style with their bed. I've kind of kept the bed exactly the same and kind of just went around with that basis in mind. So very floral. They have their ensuite. Another bathroom here. You come through in here and you got the kitchen and dining room. I love this kitchen. Oh, I love this kitchen. Although I'll say it's kind of glitchy. Like sometimes they can't use these counters, and then sometimes they can. It just depends. Like they'll come over and they'll be like, no, I can't use it, and then they go somewhere else, and then next time they go and cook something, they can use it. So, but I do like it. It's quite nice. All like black and white themed. And then you come into here to the more casual living room. This is just the games room. You've got the chess set, you've got the video game system. They hang out here more than they hang out in the formal living room, which is kind of cool because they actually use the formal living room to read. Whenever I want my Sims to read, they come in here and read. But whenever they want to watch TV, they come in here. So I kind of like how they actually autonomously kind of set these as two different types of living rooms. I kind of like that. And then upstairs, which I've just started to renovate again. This looked a little bit different. It was still renovated, but not like this. These rooms are empty because I haven't got a use for them just now. This bathroom is here, which I added when I done the initial renovation. But I've just added this bathroom in. This bathroom didn't exist before. And I've just extended this room and renovated it for Porter here. Literally last night I built this. Yeah, I quite like it. It's quite different. He's into fitness, so I gave him kind of like a mini gym in his room as well. Because also I didn't know what to do with this space, so I thought, we'll just throw in some workout equipment. And kind of like a walk-in closet, but like extended. I didn't just want to do the standard. I kind of made this out as well. And he's got like some hidden woohoo games to keep from his parents. And then you've got the garage, which is standard. We've got a second car in there, and I think two. And then out here, I've not touched. I've not touched out here, and they don't ever use this. They don't ever use the pool. I added this in here a while ago, and that's about it. Yeah, that's the house. I'm going to eventually like renovate the downstairs again, but I still quite like the downstairs, so not just yet. It's probably going to be a few more rounds until that happens. So I've just advanced time a little bit because I just realised that they were at work. So Mary Sue should be coming home now, so you better see her. So Daniel and Mary Sue, they are close to dying. I do have the like the shrub mod to see how long they've got left, and they both have 3 days. So Mary Sue is younger in my game, but obviously the randomizer for the amount of days they have as an elders kind of chose it so they end up dying at the same time. So I'm kind of sad because obviously they're like original Pleasantview citizens, but I'm also kind of ready for them to kind of go and like move on to like the next stage in Pleasantview. But yeah, so they will be dying in the current round that I am playing. It's kind of sad. But yeah, Mary Sue and Daniel, they have stayed together in my game, and it's quite an interesting story. So at the beginning, obviously, the game sets up that Caitlyn will come round and he will end up sleeping with Caitlyn, and obviously Mary Sue will either get demoted or fired when she gets that chance card popped up. So my Mary Sue didn't get fired; she got demoted. She come home, she caught him in the act, and they were furious. She was furious with her. They got rid of Caitlyn straight away. I fired the maid, and they got a new maid. And for a while, Daniel was, in the doghouse. initially he actually had like a single bed here. He was sleeping here for quite a while, but she rolled the one to have a baby. So I thought, hmm. So they ended up ACRing, actually, um, woohooing, even though they were furious with each other. And she got pregnant, and I was like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden, when she was pregnant, she just stopped being furious with him like suddenly, and they were just all over each other. They were just kissing non-stop, hugging. Every time Daniel came home, she would run out to him and give him a hug, and it was just like she completely just let go of like all the anger she had. And in my mind, I kind of pretended that they've gone to therapy and that she decided that in order to stay together, she wanted another child. She goes, if you want to stay with me and make this work, I want another child. Um, I want to do over because obviously they raised Anja and Lilith and they didn't do a very good job. I think it's quite they hinted it quite well in the game is that you know what I mean they weren't raised the best. They didn't raise their girls in the way that they probably wanted to, but she wanted to do over. So she was like, if you want to stay in this marriage, you want me to stay with you, you need to give me another child. So that's what they did. So that's why she fell pregnant, and then all was good. And they actually really, really love each other, and like they do. They got a perfect relationship for both of them. Like they just love each other so much. And they had their child. They had a boy. Um, and literally like the next day, they woohooed again, and she got pregnant a second time. And I didn't even plan that one. So she ended up having two boys. So she ended up having Ryan here and Porter, who's their youngest, who's currently in college. He's in home college, similar to the last household. And yeah, they do over, and the do over is quite well. They're very, very close with their boys. Like they got like a perfect relationship, like complete opposite to the girls. Um, And they lives quite close to the boys as well, because she did live here for quite a while. Angela's not that close, but she's not that close with any of her family. Like, she has not stayed in contact with them. But yeah, complete do-over, and their marriage is completely saved. Which never happens in my games, because I always have, like, them try, but it just never happens, and then just end up just, like, divorcing them and just moving on. But in this one, like, I kind of like that it was kind of different for me, and they actually stayed together and they fixed their marriage and they have this like cute family now. And every time they come home, they just want to like hug each other and tell each other about their days. It's quite cute, and that's why I'm going to be sad when they go, because it's like the wholesome old couple was like died. It's going to be sad. Um, but he retired level 9. He's just recently retired. He rolled a 1 to retire, so I thought, you know what, he's only got a couple of days left, so I thought just retire, enjoy your final few days. So he didn't reach the max of his career, and neither did Mary Sue. She's level 6. She got demoted originally, and then she kind of promoted again, and she stayed here pretty much ever since. She hasn't rolled any once to do her skills. In my mind, that you know, what I mean, with her do-over with her family, she decided that she wanted to focus on her family. She had that career, and she focused on her career when she was younger, and in like return, she didn't focus on the girls, and she really regretted that. So she decided to put career at the back burner, still have the career because she still liked her career, but her focus with her was raising her boys and preparing her marriage, and it paid off. It paid off. And then we got here. So their second, the other son, as you can see in the family tree, Ryan, he has just finished college himself, and he is living in town. He's an adult now. He's currently living with the Caliente boys, and soon will also be living with Abigail when she moves out. So that's the 4 people that are going to be living in a townhouse together. But their other son is Porter. He's very, very cute. And he is currently in university as well. So I'm playing with the university career, obviously, and he's staying home. Oh, whoops. And he's staying home because he didn't want to go away. He's kind of like he's very much a homebody, mommy's boy. He didn't want to go away. He kind of wanted to stay at home and still study. So he's studying from home. He's a junior, so he will be, when he ages up at 6 p.m., he will become a senior. And then tomorrow, we will find out if he graduates or not. Once he does graduate, he's going to go in a political career just like his mum. He rolled this one, and I was like, this is perfect, perfect. And I'm also not going to have him like struggle to get the career. I'm just going to give it to him. And in my mind, Mary Sue is kind of going to put in a good word for him, and basically be like, come and work for me in my office. You can get a heads up, and you can get like a leg in the career instead of struggling to try and smooth your way into it and try and find the right job. You can just come and work in my department and then go on from there. So that's what's going to happen if he graduates, obviously. Um, in my game, the political career is one of the careers that does require a degree to work in. So if a sim roller want to have this, they can't unless they've gone to college. So if he doesn't graduate, if he fails, if the randomizer rolls between 1 and 10, and he doesn't want to redo his semester, then he won't be joining us. So we'll have to let it go. But I'm hoping so. I'm hoping this will work out because it's just perfect that he'll take over from his mom, especially because his mom's going to die in a few days. So he'll end up getting a career. Then the next day, like she will die, and he's kind of like he's taking over. But yeah, but that's pretty much it for them. I will go over Ryan, but he is in a different household and he is at the very end of the rotation. So I will get to him eventually. But this will be the final household for this part. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We've still got what have we got here? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 6 households to go, and we also have a college round to go. So it's probably still going to be another 2 more parts. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.